Yesterday we were talking about the you posting between the in between now and the next challenge and see how we go. I mean, of course, I'm just making assumptions here that based on my observation, you probably had a good experience in this challenge.
Yes.
So if you want to, again, utilizing the natural attractions, don't feel you obliged or anything. It's if you really want to, in a sense, it feels good to you to do that. Would you be able to make recommendations of this challenge to your network?
Absolutely. I'm quite happy to.
Yeah, at the moment, my instinct actually is not to promote it so widely. I don't know. Again, like I don't question the instinct. It's like I just don't
then
know.
go with your instinct.
Yeah. So and my instinct was saying maybe I should ask you and see if you can make recommendations to your network. And at the moment, I'm thinking about the next challenge, depending on when you can make it. It's either the 17th that week, Monday, or the 24th. Or if you have, you know, if you don't think any of the week is good, then maybe we can look at the other weeks.
I know the 17th is fine. The 24th, I am on holiday.
Okay, so is there any week is better for you in October?
For me, if you're designing things around me, the 17th.
Okay. Then we just do it on the 17th then.
And then it's exactly 1 month from this challenge.
So what was that? Because when you look at
it would be exactly 1 month from the start of this challenge.
Okay, cool. Let's make it 17th, and then you can tell your network it's 17th, and then
cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
can
just
you
write
send?
I think I'll send you some information around it, then you can
perfect
work your draft. Let's do that. Cool. Anything?
I can't promise my network will deliver on anything.
No. There's no expectation. There's nothing. It's just me being an individual, following my own instinct, and also the voice I hear in the natural world.
I totally agree with doing that.
And when it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. I don't put expectations.
But also, what does work out mean?
Oh, in terms of, for example,
do you know what I mean? Like if your metric is you have a whole bunch of people sign up on the 17th, okay, that's a workout or not workout. If your metric is you over time reach a wider audience because it's stuck in the back of someone's mind, depends on your metric.
At the moment, it's about just to reaching the next person, to be honest. I'm not thinking about reaching a wider audience. Somehow it's just, okay, building one conversation, one relationship at a time, just see how it goes.
And I think you're right, word of mouth is very powerful.
So it's and again, I wouldn't know, because this time you and another Claire signed up. She seemed to be pretty keen, but maybe life got busy, so I still got to follow up with her. So you just never know. You just serve whoever comes and do your best.
Well, thank you. I've appreciated it.
You're welcome. Any question you got regarding the nature process?
It's still the same as yesterday. I still feel that there is a real jump between and maybe it would be even bigger jump for other people, right? So I still feel there's a real jump between the initial just sensory noticing and body noticing, and then the natural attractions. I think there's a big jump between all of them, because I only really have worked on the sensory experience and its importance in my life over the last 3 years. I've only really worked, like really deliberately worked on embodiment, maybe over the last 18 months. And if you'd hit me 3 years ago, then I probably would find every single step really hard. Like in terms of really getting the full benefit out of it. I think they're big steps.
Okay. What embodiment practice are you having at the moment, other than spending time in nature?
So part of it is just noticing. I have tried yoga. I admit I'm not the world's best at having a discipline. Definitely changed the way I look at exercise. So instead of looking at exercise as something that has to get done, that's important for my health, that's important for overall calm and focus at work, those are all things that I get from exercise. Instead of that, I'm much more around, okay, what does my body need? Now, what am I going to get from my body? How am I going to be, how am I doing this because I love my body? And so I changed my mindset around that, which actually really helped my relationship with exercise, because I was really internally rebelling over any goals, any metrics. So a lot of people do really well. It seems like my husband, when he has a big event or a big race coming up, you put that on me and I like stop exercising. Just something in me just goes, screams no. And I think it's because, this is my theory, who knows, because when you do that of saying, okay, we're going to reach this target with our body, that's my mind trying to control my body. And I think my body was just going to piss off. Who's put you in charge all the time? So part of what I've been doing has just been that. It's been really changing my relationship and really saying, well, no, this is not about my head leading all the time. Probably more often than not, my body is leading the rest of me. And so it's not such a division. I'm a holistic being in a holistic ecosystem. So that has altered. Then I also have really gotten into, so one of the things that I enjoy doing is I do peer coaching at my company for new parents. And I've been trained and am involved in a whole program. And I also do a lot of mentoring as well for colleagues who the parenting part just doesn't come in. And I've really started working with some of I took a short course. It's just like 12 weeks from the I think it's called Embodiment Institute or Embodiment Unlimited. It's offered by a company in the UK on.
Is the leader called Mark Walsh?
Yeah, exactly. And I can't remember how I found him. Anyways, I think because of the book of the author I was telling you about before, because Gabor Mate has done quite a lot of stuff on trauma with this organization. And that was really good because I brought those practices in terms of just poses and body awareness into my coaching and my mentoring. And I found that really powerful, particularly because we're all professionals that I'm working with. And we're all quite senior professionals or further on in our career. And so we're spending all of our days up here. So yes, so I'm still not into any kind of practice like yoga or Pilates or things where I know there's a lot more integration and a lot more evidence-based information that really does make that connection. I just haven't found the practice that's worked for me yet. And I'm not pushing it. Like I said, I'm following my body.
Yeah, I know. I don't know Mark Walsh's work in depth, but I've been following him for a few years, just on Facebook. And yeah, I know he's a yoga teacher and he does poses and all that. So and I really like the one piece of work I really like is the centering, because that's his quick win.
Yeah, that's exactly. But I've also found it really interesting how when you have someone you're working with that is struggling to articulate something or just sits there smiling going, I'm not sure what we need to work on. If we start working on body poses and how those poses are making that individual feel and when they think they could use them, suddenly you start unlocking things, which has been very interesting for me to witness.
Oh, interesting. Oh, cool. Almost want me to ask you to send me the link of that course and I'll have a look. Yeah, interesting.
Because he does a long one, like a whole year, which I might do, and then he does a short 3-month one, which I took as like a toe in the water, a tester. And definitely, I know I'm not there. I know I have so much further to go in terms of all of this, but at least, you know, going back to what I was saying about these different steps that you have on each day being jumps, I can see for me, like my jump now is the natural attractions. It's not those other two because I'm already on the path with those.
With natural attractions, the exercise is presented in itself to find a part of nature you feel okay. It's doing the exercise and letting nature reflecting back to you. But if you just really practice in a simple term, like letting go of the exercise, it's about paying attention about what your body likes. Like you're already doing it. For example, when your husband asks you to go for the training for the race, for example, then your reaction might come from you're being present with your body and maybe your body tenses up and then you say no. Then that's a way of following your natural attractions in the body because you're not caught up. Okay, doing this training is good for me and maybe it's good for husband and wife time or this, you know, thinking. You're just really following your body because that's what natural attraction is about. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's easier to do then.
Yeah.
Because if it's also following like what the messages are within you that your mind tries to shove aside, then yes, that I'm already on a decent journey of.
Yeah. I feel you're already on it. It's just there are different aspects of natural attractions because the exercise in the challenge is like looking at your potential in nature, the message in nature. But there's other aspect of natural attraction. One of it is it's as simple as doing what you like, just being present with your body, not really thinking about what's good up here. It's just following what your body wants. That's natural attraction. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's easier.
Yeah. So cool. And do you want me to quickly touch upon natural communication, or you would rather go into the book yourself?
No, please. I'd love to hear your explanation.
Okay. With natural communication, how do I say this? It doesn't. When you look at the nature process as a whole, for example, it's about, okay, before we go on to that, I want to just quickly touch another little application of natural attraction. So one simple aspect is about just being really present with your body and do what your body likes without getting caught up in your head. Another one is when you go out in the natural world, I have a feeling you're probably already doing it because when people, they like to go out to nature, that is normally what's happening, is they choose a place, they normally have their spot. It's not always that spot they like to go, but there is a spot usually that they like to go. And that is natural attraction because somehow you just feel that place is appealing to you. You can say, I don't know, maybe the mountain is grounding or whatever, but there is a spot in that mountain you just like to settle down. And that is your spot. And it is natural attraction. And natural attraction, of course, in this context, it can change depending on your mood sometimes, whatever. Yeah. So then I'm going to talk about natural communication. So if I want to just explain it, it's like you are seeing nature as your equal partner, because intellectually we are nature, right? But then how do you actually do it? Is you are asking nature to support you. Is it okay to connect with you? Whether you are just want to, for example, you have, I don't know, I'm just gonna make it up. You're getting a bit unsure about a important decision, right? And then you just want to get some clarity outside in nature, and you actually want to do it in a way that you want to maybe talk to nature. So then you go out there. I don't know how you do it currently, but if you're doing it with the nature process, getting present with your senses, and then present with your feelings and bodily sensations. And what you could do is you can look for a part of nature that is attracted for you to getting this clarity. And then you can just spend time in that spot. And then you can connect with a certain piece, because once you sit down, maybe you can see the tree, you can see the rock. I don't know what you might see. But if you're looking at a tree, for example, getting a little bit detailed, but I just want to get you give you a detailed sense, you might look at that tree and go, would you be able to support me, or would you be able to give me a sense of clarity on this important decision? So it's very much a sensory experience, and then the way you see trees moving, for example, you'll be able to see it is telling you a yes, or it is telling you a no. Again, that's why the first part of the sensory experience is so important, because nature, they talk to us, but it doesn't talk in a language we often understand, particularly when you connect with trees and plants. And you got to engage with your sensory experience to be able to go, okay, yes, however the tree moves. I'm saying this because it's just when I see clients, when they connect with nature on the coaching call, sometimes they talk to me like this. And of course, when I connect with nature outside myself, that's how I see it, and that's how the book describes it as well. It's those sensory experiences telling you, yes, it's okay to connect with me to receive your clarity. And that's how you can apply the natural communication. And if you're having some stress, for example, or any sort of negative emotion, applying natural communication is almost like you're talking to a person almost. Hey, buddy, is it okay if I connect with you and you support me to let go of this stress or let go of this anxiety? And again, it's sensory experience. That's why it's important to get present in natural presence first, and then you'll be able to sense, because not every tree, not every rock, not every planet will say yes. Yeah. And the final step of natural release, it's automatically done by your body, by nature, of course, but there's signs. Is like your body might yawn, your body might cry, your body might having tears, or might burp, might even have gas release. So it's all part of the body, because people, I suppose, is when your body try to release, sometimes we try to shut it down, because we think it's maybe not appropriate for some reason, but it's just all the release.
So you ask the permission, you go through a body sensation, and
you ask the permission in your head, or you can ask it out loud. but the way you realize that the permission is received or
Mhm.
not is through
But-
is through either your sensory experience
Yeah.
or through your bodily sensation, or maybe both.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's basically just feeling in tune with that tree.
Yeah, tree,
Yeah.
or sometimes it can be rock, or can be water. In the
Mhm.
book, I think Tabitha said it's easier to do it with trees, which I fully agree. It somehow maybe has to do with your brain
Yeah.
wave. Yeah, with
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, with water and rocks, it's a bit harder.
Well, also we're programmed to think that water and rocks are completely inanimate objects.
Yeah,
Trees are alive.
Yeah, it's how we, I mean, even I think even some people, they don't think trees are alive. It's only animals, like a chicken.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
yeah.
Trees are very alive.
That's everything. Yeah, it's only last year, I think there's one of my connection, he attended, it's basically some psychologist leading a workshop. Okay, so it's a picture with the chicken, and there's a tree, and then what's alive? Just a chicken.
So interesting.
Yeah.
I'll digress for 1 second. I think there was like a movie that they made, maybe it was maybe 10 years ago, 12 years ago, about like The Secret Life of Trees, I think it was called.
Yeah.
And yes, remember, you know that film?
Yeah.
It shows how like trees communicate with each other over great long distances. I mean, what trees are able to do, we just we don't even tap into the full understanding of what a tree's capabilities are.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never had the body release experience, but definitely the feeling in tune with a tree.
Yeah, it again, that part, it's not from your efforting part, it's done by your body, it's done by your connection with nature. And you can sometimes ask the earth for support as well. You don't need to limit to a tree or a rock, it can be the whole planet.
So then I'll go back to, for those who have pets, pets, would you not have a similar interaction with them? And I know people rationalize this as being with a companion, and having a strong love connection with a pet, but you could take that relationship in a different direction, could you not?
In the book, from my memory, Tabitha actually doesn't recommend you do with the pets.
Okay.
I think with the earth, like, it's like the oxygen and carbon dioxide, it's similar to that. When we let go of our strong negative emotions, it doesn't have to be strong, any negative emotions into the natural world, somehow because the earth is regenerative, but then somehow the capacity of the animal somehow is a bit less. So I think, it's a little while for me to read that exact chapter, but if my memory serves me right, there was some writing in her first edition. I don't remember the second edition because I don't think I've read that part. In the first edition, she even said, if you're releasing, like if you feel you're releasing, it's probably a good idea to keep away from the animals so that you don't affect them that much. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay, I will read the book and see if I can find that. And also, you do have a different power dynamic with pets.
Yeah. So it's, well, when you said there's a different power dynamic with pets, what do you mean?
When we have pets, I mean, the easiest one is with a dog, for example. You will have a natural dominant structure with the dog in order to train it and have it as your companion. And that power dynamic is inherent in the relationship you'll have with that dog. A little bit more difficult with cats, they're very much their own being, but there's still a dynamic of dependency that a cat will have on its owners, even if it's just for food and shelter. So that's a different power dynamic than going to a tree, I feel, and asking a tree's permission to be in its presence.
Yeah. And I think it's just how, I mean, it goes back to how Tabitha's relationship with the natural world and everything. It's just through her upbringing and through her education in the, in the psychology bachelor degree and 2 master's degree, she came up with this kind of work. So, and of course, she's rooted in the research as well. But the whole nature process is always, yes, I mean, animals, it's good for bonding and connection, and there's research supporting that. But when you are deepening your connection with natural world to let go, it's about trees, it's always the easiest, and then rocks, water, you can do it as well. But animals, my recollection of it is when you're releasing, it's better that you kind of keep away from them, because
okay, good. All right, I'll find the book and look it up. Thank you.
So yeah, so that's the whole nature process, but it's kind of
just, that's it.
Yeah, but actually it doesn't stop. Then you go back to the natural presence and natural body, because then you feel the next evolution is a lot easier.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you. I don't have any further questions for now. I'm sure I will for the next month.
That's okay. Cool. So let's just I'll send you something. It's gonna be on the 7th of October, and I'm pretty excited. Again, there's no expectation.
Not at all. So I totally don't plan posting on LinkedIn. I do it completely spontaneously. You could say I do it based on that intuition sense you were talking about. I'm drawn to say something, so I do.
Okay.
Right. So that means I'm not, and as a result, there's nothing that I write which is forced. I think you can tell when what people write is forced, right? Yeah. So I will, it will come to me. Send me the information, it will come to me, and I will post when it comes to me.
Yeah, and I'm not asking you, okay, to promote it this way or that way. Again, it's just however you want to promote it. Even the active promotion, if your body is saying don't promote it, then just don't promote it. I totally respect.
Not a problem. I will also happily tell my close friends.
Oh, thank you.
Which is an even much more effective one. And that, I'm not just saying it because I'm being nice. I mean, I actually think this is a really great thing to introduce many more people to.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I think Tabitha's vision is to eventually, of course, let this thing grow. Yeah. I'm just really playing along with her. I think even how I met her was some sort of magic. Yeah.
How did you meet her? How did you get into this?
It was really interesting. I was telling my coach the other day, because with me, the personal development side, when it started, was really a bit weird in a way. Is when I was in actually my second full-time job. So that time I was a bit stressed because I was doing the full-time study, full-time job, and I was doing financial modeling as well. And then one of my colleagues said to me, you got to change your thinking, Claire. I've read Tony Robbins, and I was like, really? Okay. Because at that time is for me, because I always go, I don't know anything, whatever tells me, maybe if you already got some results, maybe you're right. I'm always brought up that way. So then somehow I came across this whole spiritual personal development. I'm laughing because I actually got stuck in there for quite a few years, called Law of Attractions. I was like, That sounds pretty good. There's a lot of things. It's probably right, but I'm not sure. Like, let me test it out, right? And then, so there was this one coach, which was really interesting. I'm not sure if I should tell you the whole story because it involves Tabitha as well. And so I try not. Anyhow, I know Tabitha through this law of attraction coach, but and then and I don't know how life just occurred this way, but in the end, I said bye-bye to law of attractions, and now I decided to follow nature. Yeah.
You just followed a self-development path.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know how life works, but it works.
But I think that makes total sense. I mean, I don't know how you're right in terms of how you manage to almost by chance meet and find something that really works. But I think what's really right in terms of what you're saying is what I felt for a long time, which is that, okay, number one, I do believe that that things that assist with personal development are quite individual. So yes, there's this concept of not everything for anyone. Definitely, people receive messages in different ways. But regardless of that, there's so much, I have so much frustration with a lot of the self-help, personal development, productivity, etc. literature, which just makes you feel quite empty, right? Like it's always about trying to improve. What are we trying to improve? Like we're great the way we are. There's a whole bunch of things that we can do to help ourselves live a more fulfilling life. But why do we keep having this obsession with progress and improvement? And so I just got to a point of like deep frustration with the enormous body of literature that's out there. And I still love it and I still read it and it's wonderful. But I think like I do find it quite limiting, which is a similar kind of story to you in the sense, although I didn't quite go so deep into one body of knowledge and then another body of knowledge to then go into this one.
Yeah. So that's how I met her, without going into more details about.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. And then, but it's through nature. And then when I recovered, it was again through Tabitha. I met a spiritual teacher. He's a non-dual teacher, so about Advaita and non-duality. And with his energy transmission, it's about levels of consciousness. So that changed my life as well. So it's through these two streams of work. And now I combine them. I talk it through nature because I feel that's more relatable to me. But the way I think about nature and consciousness, they're just interchangeable words.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Yeah. Cool.
No, thank you for sharing that.
That's okay. I thought I'll share that. I don't talk about, like, occasionally I'll go weird and share one of those woo-woo stories about me, about how I experience life. I think,
well, this is the thing, like we put these woo-woo judgments on ourselves. It's like when this past summer when we were back in Canada, we had this moment where my daughter just was like, you know, it's quite intense when you go back home and you see extended family and you have all those expectations and like you just get this like mesh of emotions. And we were also disappointed. She's about to start school again. So, you know, she's in a soup of emotions. There's the bottom line. So she breaks down one day and she goes and she starts crying. She goes, I need my bunnies. And she looks at me, she says, Mommy, you may think it's weird, but when I really do talk to the bunnies a lot. And I just looked and I said, that's not weird at all, Zoe. I talk to trees all the time. Of course you should be talking to. So, you know, we get these funny these funny concepts of that's woo-woo and not explicable and everyone's going to dismiss it. If we just kind of opened ourselves up a bit more, yes, my daughter needs to talk to her bunnies. That's a very important part of her getting centered, feeling herself, she feels fully accepted around her pet rabbits.
Mm.
And that's a wonderful thing. And so, although perhaps, as we discussed, pets aren't the same access to the nature process, there still is something that happening there when she is around these animals that are she's just being with them, and they're just being with her.
Mm. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Not at all. I think we need to keep ourselves wide open to, there's so many different realities and mysteries in life. When we shut them down, we miss out on some of the magic.
Yeah. It's, again, I think it's thinking about being your authentic self is, I think for me, it's easy with people who are on the similar wavelengths, like with you, for example. But like, if I want to be the whole authentic self on LinkedIn, sometimes it's a lot harder.
It's its own funny little world. I actually started posting there a little over a year ago because a friend of mine who was at that time being my peer coach. Okay, so I'm in this company, there's a lot of peer coaching, and we've since become very close friends. She just said, you should just try it. And she was really into it. She posts occasionally, but at the time she's really quite into it. And I think she does a lot more Instagram stuff now. She goes, just try it. And I was like, why? She goes, just try. There's a different experience between like journaling and then deciding to just put whatever it is that's drawn to you at that moment to share out there into the world. Just to put it out there, like with no expectations, no success metrics, nothing. And so I did that. And I was like, well, this is kind of, she's right. It's kind of different. It feels a bit odd. And then I started having a lot of my colleagues come to me and go, well, I haven't reacted to your post, but I did read it. And then they start having these conversations around them. And there's slowly, you find that the process of putting yourself out, just putting these random thoughts that you have out publicly for no reason, it actually does evolve you. You evolve slightly. The things, suddenly things that I find sometimes, like, because I'm a co-chair on our employee representative group for parents. So I do a lot of stuff in my company around supporting parents. And so I'm very aware of all those little voices in me and all that fear and all that guilt that I have because of being a professional parent, which is why I often write about that, because it's a connection point, it's work, and it's something that I care passionately about. And it's funny, I will sometimes put things out there which I am very scared of. Now, other people might read it like, no big deal, but I'm scared of it. Like if I say that I haven't been at the office for a week and a half, even though no one cares, I care. I'm scared. I'm worried about being judged. And yet I know I haven't been able to be at the office for a week and a half because my husband's away and I've got all these other things like picking up kids at 3:30. They go back to, I keep working. I work often from 5 a.m. until 9 p.m. with small breaks between. But, you've got those fear voices. And then somehow you put it out there and you're like, oh, that's not actually a big deal, is it? That I haven't been to the office in a week and a half. I'm going as often as I'm supposed to in terms of, I'm supposed to be here 40% of the time, and I am. And no one's saying that I'm not producing. No one's saying I'm not delivering. In fact, all I get are really good comments in terms of my delivery. So all of that noise is in my head. So funny, it's odd, just putting it out there to the world publicly has this strange ability to reduce the fear of it.
Yeah. I think the more you do it, the more you just feel it's not too bad. You might get it.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah, like it's all like one pixel of of the whole internet.
It's just really not a big deal. Yeah. And then sometimes you make a little bit of a difference because someone's like, oh, I'm so glad you said that. I really feel that way. And I get scared too. And then you're like, yeah, isn't it funny? We're all sitting here all alone, scared about the same thing, not telling each other.
Yeah, we're just humans, and then we all pretend we're not normal. And then we're not, and then on the internet it's a bit like, I'm not sure how much I should share.
Oh, exactly. No, it's very true. Well, no, I'll get something out over the next week when it comes to me.
Okay, cool.
With pleasure, because I've enjoyed this process, and I can see that it's good because it shows where I have work to do.
Oh, thank you. My coaching offer is still open for you. Again,
Thank you, Claire.
There's no obligation. It's just if you want to use your natural attraction, because one of the important things from the nature process is if we're caught up in narratives in a way that our actions are not grounded in what is, because nature is what is, like through the sensory experiences, right? But if we have caught up in the narratives, things like, oh, Claire is so nice, and I feel obliged to take her coaching call, blah blah blah, then those things don't work well. But when we feel, actually this is what I feel like to do when I'm grounded in my body, then these kind of relationships can work and nourish and flourish. Yeah.
Perfect. That sounds like excellent guidance.
Sorry, I sound like a teacher sometimes.
No, that's perfect guidance. That's exactly, and you know what? That's a no pressure guidance too.
No.
It's exactly what you were saying. When you're called, you're called.
Yeah. And like
Thank you.
I know in the corporate world there's a lot of expectations, but I prefer to put it as like zero expectation, because I think expectations are poisons for relationships. And then if you want something, then you communicate, and then you agree upon something, and then that's, I think, a better way of doing it than expecting. Yeah.
You know, that's so true what you just said. My mom has this phrase, don't have expectations and you won't be disappointed. Okay, that's true. But having unnoticed expectations and putting them on others is very destructive. And where most of the problems with intimate relationships, like wider family relationships, that's where they end up. Yeah, that's very true. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll be sending out a survey to the whole circle.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the content will still be available through the weekend if you want to. Okay. Yeah, if you want to do the exercise, and then next week I'll just clean it up. But if you want to post any of your nature experience in between asking questions, please do. I just want to test it out, see how I feel about the whole process. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I guess my feedback would be exactly what I've been saying, which is like, this is a lot in 5 days. Mm-hmm. So if there's some way of doing like the first week is exactly the effort you put in, which is to give everyone a really good ground introduction, and then allow them to feel they have the space to keep playing with it without it taking any more of your time. I can see how that would be a benefit. Because yes, there's that jump between the steps, big.
Yeah. I mean, it's like this, because with people who are, again, like, you can't be generalized it, but it's most people are just comfortable with the natural presence and natural body, and I'm totally fine. And then because like I said, you can't really force natural attractions. But and if people feel, okay, I'm struggling with natural attractions, they can always say, okay, Claire's offered a coaching session. They can always come to my coaching session, and then we walk through that. So there's another avenue for them to really see how natural attractions work. Yeah, instead of just walking themselves.
I think I need to spend some time right now on trying more myself, because I think I'm nearly there. What you helped me today, that's very, I can take that and keep trying. So thank you. In a non-forced way.
Yeah, it's not about I mean, it's the thing is like we are humans. We think we got our agency, we got our free will, but you got to bring the life inside you to take action, because otherwise it's just all messed up. Just look at our world sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure getting to know you.
Yeah, me too.
Really nice.
Yeah.
I hope you have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too. And just look forward to knowing you more, building a deeper relationship with you.
Thanks, Claire. I feel the same.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Great. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.